Tone is one of the formal elements of art. And that's what we're going to do in today's Doodle Club. Welcome if you are new, and welcome back if you've been with me for a while. Or if you only joined last week. I am so pleased that you are here. My name is Cate Field. I'm an artist, a teacher and a speaker, and I am absolutely passionate about helping people to find their creative spirit and to encourage you to take your paints out of the box or open the cupboard where the sketchbook is, where it's been for a couple of years and you still haven't done anything with it, even though that's what you really want to do. Because sometimes stuff happens, doesn't it? Life gets in the way and we forget to do those things that we actually love. So I release art tutorials every week on a Monday and a Friday, and I really hope that you can enjoy joining in and just exploring your own creativity. So, without further ado, let's go. There are lots of ways in which we can create tone in our artwork, and in this week's Doodle Club I'm going to show you a few. We're going to start by dividing our page into rough squares, rectangles. The idea is we're going to look at different ways to produce tone in each one, because there are lots of different ways. So here we are. I'm going to do 16 different ways to create tone. Now I'm going to start in this corner. If you are left-handed, you might want to start in this corner. And I am just using my graphite pencil, and that's what we're going to do to begin with. And we're going to go from the corner carefully shading. So I'm doing a slightly circular motion with the pencil. So I'm just sort of bringing that so it's quite hard, pressing as hard as I can actually in that corner, coming out, and we're going to get lighter and lighter. You need to take your time until you get to that diagonal where it's the lightest touch of the pencil. Just going to fill in those little gaps there. Just making that transition between the dark and the light as smooth as you can. So you need to use a soft pencil. So this is a 6B pure graphite. Get halfway through, and then we're going to go back the other way. This time we're going to go light through to dark. Do you see what's happening there? Take your time. And we're just building up these tonal values like that. I've done that quite quickly. You can take your time. And it is one of those things that takes practice. You need to practice at it, and try with different types of pencils as well, because they're going to have different effects. And depending on what you want to achieve in your art is going to be dependent on what you want. I'm sticking with the pencil. I'm going to keep with that. And this time I'm going to show you how to create tone with just lines. Now, if we put lines, marks on the page like this, if you close your eyes, or just lightly close your eyes, so soft focus, you will see the kind of grey. And I'm doing these all even in the same
space. Now, what if I was to put some of these closer together? What would happen then? You can see that by putting these closer together, the area is darker because there's not so much white paper coming through. So you can see this side is darker coming through to this side. And you can do this with all sorts of mark making. You could do it with crosses, for example. Do some crosses here. Very, very lightly with the pencil. But let's have the ones over this side a bit heavier and closer together. And you're going to get this idea of darker coming through to light. And you can get some really, really interesting textures and shapes. And you can do that with all sorts of marks. So this is what I would like you to do. I'd like you to play. So these first 8, you're just going to be using a pencil. So for example, we're going to do some spirals. And up in this corner, my spirals are going to be a little bit heavier. And then they're going to get lighter, like that. And you could do little circles, starting off with your sort of small and then getting bigger. And this again will give this idea of tone. And tone is one of the formal elements that I teach in my classes. And I would teach it even to my university and college students, because it's not something that you just kind of stop when you get more proficient. It's one of those things that it's really good to go back to the basics, to the fundamentals of art and design, so that you stay on top of your game, really. It's quite important to do that. I'm thinking now I'm going to do some horizontal lines, perhaps some short lines going through to longer lines, and see what sort of effect that has. Like that. That's quite interesting. And in this one, I'm going to do some cross hatching. Again, starting off quite close together and quite dark, coming through to being a bit lighter, like this. And in this one, I'm going to be doing some scribbles. I quite like doing scribbles as texture and tone. I'm just going to come down, so I'm going dark to light from the bottom to from the top to the bottom, so it's all pretty much the same like that. And then I'm just going to start to do my little scribbles here, coming down like that. And of course, we can create tone using colouring pencils. So in this first one, I'm going to do the same technique as this one at the top, and I'm just going to be using one colour. So these are Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils. They blend beautifully, but you can use whatever pencils you like. So I'm just blending this into itself. I'm going to go in a bit darker in the corners, but I'm just coming out so lighter, really holding the pencil very loosely. Don't sort of hold it tight. Just let your arm and your wrist relax. It's very important that you do that. Then I'm just going to go in to into this corner, pressing very hard. And you see the effect that that has. Same colour, same pencil, very different effects coming out of there. And very loosely coming down into this corner again. And oh, let's just do that. And then in that corner, using the flat edge of my pencil to begin with. As I come up to there, and then as I go into the corner, getting the point, adding a bit of pressure to create that tone. So that is using just one pencil. Of course, you can create tone using different colours. So this way I'm going to do some vertical lines with a sort of turquoisey colour. Let's do that. Thank you for all your lovely comments. Very much enjoying reading them. And if you haven't joined the Facebook group yet, but you'd like to, then you'll be very, very welcome. It's a very supportive, friendly, very happy place. So if that's something that you would like, then the link is in the description. And you can come and join us. Oh, there we go. So again, same as the previous one, I'm just using the same pencil, the same colour. It's slightly darker at that, but this time I'm going to use this blue that I used here, and I'm going to go over the top of the turquoise. And again, this is where these particular pencils blend very well. I'm not sponsored or anything by Faber-Castell. I just really like the pencils. I also like ink tents. They are really lovely. I know a few of you have commented that you like those. Yeah, they are. They're beautiful pencils. I agree. So you can see this is quite subtle. In creating the tone coming from dark through to light. Right, I'm now going to switch colours to dark green because I want to start playing with some of these textures that we did above. So I'm going to do this sort of spirally, swirly, same as we did like this. So just coming lighter at the bottom, heavier at the top. And then I'm going to put in my blue up here and then just sort of fade it out. You really have fun with this technique. I really like it. Oh, that's broken there. Let's just switch that one across. A little bit too aggressive there, I think. Let's put this line across here and then just getting lighter as we go down, and then I'm going to put in so the lines are close together at the top and then lighter down here. Now we can really show that effect well. I'm just going to move paper down. Going to go from the diagonal again, that if we have our lines close together like this, and then we start spreading them out, keeping the lines the same size, but can you see what happens? the lines that are close together, you get this sort of intense concentration, and then it fades out, and you can add some different colours to this as well, and different combinations of ideas and designs. So in these last three down here, I'm going to do a few more ideas. So I'm going to do some circles, and with these I'm joining the circles together, and they're quite small, like this. There we go. And then as we come down the page, they're going to get a bit bigger. And again, it's the density that creates the illusion of tone. It's just bringing these a bit like bubbles, I think. As they get bigger, you have this idea of darker into light, and that can be very effective. You see that sort of coming down into a lighter space. And this one we're going to go back to lines, but this time each line is going to be parallel to, they're all going to be parallel to each other. And then as I come down the page, they're going to get further spaced out like that. It's a very, very simple idea, but it's very effective, and it can be used in all sorts of ways. So closer together, spreading out down this way. And then the last one I'm going to do is I'm going to do some wiggly lines using the same sort of principle of lines that are close together. Just gives us sort of a bit more of a fluid type effect. But then as we move down the page, the lines get more spread out. And then you can add various bits to that. So we could put in some shading here as well to create that idea. Now, okay, this is fine. We could do a nice little experiment, and we can practice using our pencils. But how can we use this in a piece of artwork? And that's what we're going to do next. So I'm going to go back to an idea of still life, and I'm going to be using some cutout shapes just to give you a demonstration of how you can use tone to create some really interesting compositions. Now, if you didn't watch my still life tutorial, I'll link it below, because you might like to enjoy that one. Let me just get these ready. I'm going to start off by just creating a frame. You could draw this with a ruler if you want to. I'm just going straight in, I think. I'm in that kind of mood. So I'm going to put in my shapes of the bottles. So these are just bits of card. Well, this one is. I use these in stencils as well. And these are bits of foam, because I teach classes to adults and students. I'm going to put this one as if it's behind, actually, and try to find quick ways to do things. And I don't want them to get bogged down with not being able to draw a bottle or something like that, when actually that's not the point of the lesson. The point of the lesson is to explore tone. So that's what we're doing here. So we're just taking a little shortcut But of course, if you want to draw them freehand, you go ahead and do it. That's, oh dear, that's fine. I'm just going to take out that line. I think I will have that larger one at the back. So these are very, very basic shapes. And I'm going to start by just putting in some very loose colour. And again, I'm going to stick to my blues, turquoise and greens. I'm going to put these in first. Like this. And then what we're going to do, I'm going to start with this one at the back. Now I'm going to start by just going around the edge with this one. So we're going to be using this technique similar to the Dragon's Eye tutorial. So if you haven't checked that one out, perhaps you'd like to have a look at that one later, because it's the same technique of sort of building up the tone like this. And then I'm going to add my darker green on the edge. So I'm blending the two colours. And I will keep going over them both together. So we get this idea of a shadow going round to give this idea of depth. So just going to work on that, and I'll do a little bit more there. Let's just put that one that way as well. Now on this blue one here, this is a sort of a turquoise, I'm going to use one of the other techniques, and I'm going to use this technique here. I'm going to have on all three of the bottles the dark side on this side, so it's consistent. If you're left-handed, you might want to start this way. Do whatever is comfortable for you for this experiment. So I'm just sort of bringing that out, making it lighter, exactly as we did on these ones. You see how that sort of is beginning to come together like that, because it's quite quick to do as well. And then for this one, I'm going to do some lines and a bit of cross hatching. So I'm going to go in one direction first, like this, and then I'm going to go in the other direction. So work quite quickly, don't think about it too much. Remember, if you put the lines close together, you will get that darker idea. I'm just going to bring that. And it just brings something different, and it makes your artwork just a little bit more interesting, I think. Like this. So that's the first stage. The next stage is I'm using a grey, and again with this one at the back where we were blending our colours, I'm going to put in a little bit of grey, just like that. So you can see it's quite subtle, so bringing that round like that. You can still see the green underneath. Same pencil, working on this one here, same idea. I'm going to do my little spirals, my little swirls, just on that edge, like that, like that. Of course, you can use this however you want. You could do it your whole still life using one of the techniques, which is what I would normally do. But for this demonstration, I just wanted to show you 3 in one piece, just so that you can see what it looks like. So building up that one, and I'm going to do the same with this one. Like that. If you haven't joined the Facebook page and you think that you'd like to, the group is so friendly, really, really encouraging. And we share ideas and thoughts, and you can ask me questions. So the link is in the description if you'd like to come and join us. I also put things on the community tab on YouTube. There's usually something going on, some sort of art challenge. If you'd like to join in, check that one out as well. And if you like this sort of thing and you'd like to subscribe, then that would be lovely. So I've put that one there. So that is the next stage. At the next bit, I'm going to work on the background. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this green one at the back. This is the sort of the background to this green bottle. And I'm just using the same technique of blending. Like this. I'm going to put the other green in it as well. Just put that one like that. Let's just get that one. And you can see what's happening now is because we've put in a background. I'm just going to take the grey, put that in there. What happens is that the edge of the bottle on this side looks brighter because there's a contrast. Let's just sort of bring that like that. And we're going to do a similar sort of thing with this one. So I'm going to use the blue, and obviously this is going on top of the green bottle. I just want you to sort of have an idea of what these techniques can look like. And they are fun. And because the bottle is green, I'm also going to put in a bit of the green because I think that would be fun. And I'm also going to put in a little bit of the tone, the graduation tone in there. But I like this kind of scribbly. Not everybody likes it, and that's fine. The whole point of you learning a technique is to discover the things that you like and the things that you don't like. And for some people, this technique is just too messy. And that's fine. Like this. And then I'm just going to bring that out so it starts to blend in with the green bottle above. We've got that idea there. And then we've got this ground here. I'm going to add some darker blue. So we've got this idea of shadow. Liking that, and then a bit of the grey as well. A bit of the grey on this bit as well. I love creating tone, whether it's in my drawing, illustration, or my painting. But I also use it in my textile work, which I haven't done in Friday Art or Doodle Club. But if people would like me to do some of my textile tutorials, I'm very, very happy to do that. And let's just move on to this side, and we're going to do our crosshatch. I just need to sharpen this pencil. So I've done my crosshatch over this side. I've put in some more of the green and the turquoise, and I've started to do some work on the background. Now, a lot of the mistakes that beginners make, and even more experienced artists, is that when they're placing a still life, they forget about the background. So the objects look like they're just floating about in midair. And so it's really important that you have some kind of background, even if it's just shading like I'm doing here, or whether there are actually objects like a window or a table or something like that. Now, what I'm going to do now is to just do a little bit more detail using my grey, continuing to use the techniques around each bottle, but starting to combine them. It's just, again, when the lines get close together, you get that darker effect, like that. Bringing those in like that, and then I'm just going to do a little bit of shading on top of it, so still seeing the texture but getting rid of that line, that pencil line there. Let's just sort of put that in like that. There we go. And I'm going to do the same on this side with the blue, just going over the edges. So you're still getting that idea of light coming in from this direction. And let's just do a little bit more on there, a little bit more there as well. Let's just put some shade on there. And that's all I'm going to do on those ones. I wanted to give you that idea of using the three different techniques to create a simple still life. I really hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. It doesn't matter how experienced an artist we are, there's always something new to learn. And if you want to learn something else, you could have a look at this one and this one. And I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.